Hey guys, what's up? Today's video is going to be about stalling in Rocket League, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to stall and how to practice your stalls so that you can hit shots like this. So first off, I just want to explain what stalling is. I feel like there's a lot of people that get confused with some Rocket League terminology. I know there's a lot to learn. But to explain what a stall is, I kind of need to show you a couple things. I'll just kind of show you immediately, and then I'll explain. So a stall is when this happens. You're falling, and you see how my car kind of just bounced in the air. How is this happening? How is this possible? It's like I'm jumping, but my car doesn't go anywhere. This is all possible because of a couple key bindings and some very, very, very precise timing. First off, if you want to do this, you're going to want to go to your controls. Go to view/change bindings and find air roll right or air roll left. For my purposes, I use air roll right. I have it currently bound to R1 on my controller. This is possible on any controllers, any keyboards, whatever you want. Find a free button and bind air roll right. When you jump and hold air roll right, your car should do this. It will just simply air roll to the right. Now that you have that, you're going to want to, while air rolling right, perfectly barrel roll the opposite direction. So if you do a left dodge, perfectly left, while holding air roll right, you will do this. Your flip will go nowhere, and your car will spin in place. If you don't get it the first try, don't worry. In fact, I'd recommend going to your control settings and checking out your sensitivity. Currently, this is the lowest dead zone I can play on with my sensitivity. I'm on 1.2 aerial and 1.2 steering sensitivity with a 0.10 dead zone. If I go to 0.05, I have much more difficulty in getting the stall. As you can see, I messed one up there. So find something that's comfortable for you. Once you can comfortably, I would call this tornado spinning. Once you can comfortably do the flip that takes you nowhere while you're still spinning, try pressing all the buttons at the same time, and then once the flip happens, release. Your car should maybe turn slightly, maybe not at all, depending on how good your timing is. But if you hit every button at the same time, your car won't actually go anywhere. It'll just kind of make the jump sound, but get locked in place. Now you can kind of understand what happened when I was doing this earlier. I'm just air rolling upside down first, and then pressing all the buttons at the same time. So go ahead and give that a shot. This is far from an easy mechanic to learn. I've spent probably hundreds of hours practicing this, and I still mess it up all the time. If you find yourself maybe front flipping too much, then you aren't doing a perfect left barrel roll. Maybe you're slightly off to the side. But if you're front flipping or back flipping, that means your directional input, especially if you're on a controller, this will be a problem for you. It means your directional input is off. You're not perfectly to the left. However, if you find yourself barrel rolling too much, that means you probably forgot to press air roll right. So keep those two things in mind. I also spoke earlier about you can use air roll right or air roll left, and I'll explain that here. So I'm going to move air roll right to the other button. I'm going to unbind this. So now I have air roll left. You can do a stall both directions. You just have to reverse the inputs, or rather mirror them. So instead of doing a perfect left barrel roll, because I'm already air rolling left, I need to do a perfect right barrel roll. And I don't ever usually do this. I'm very dependent on one direction. But as you can see, you can still get the stall with the other direction. I just really would need to practice this. Next, I want to take you guys into the training pack that I used to learn how to use these stalls properly into getting multiple flip resets or just even a single flip reset on the ball in a way that I can score. This pack has been around for a long time. If you go to custom training and go to browse, it's actually been at the top here for a very long time. I would go ahead and favorite it. If at any point in the future this is not here, the download code is right there and will be in the description of the video for you guys. But the first shot in this pack is what I use all the time. I think this is why I'm very dependent on coming off of the right wall and using air roll right. because if you use air roll right as you come off the wall, you actually start facing the ball. Your takeoff is super important for landing a proper flip reset. If you have a bad takeoff, it's going to be hard to get the reset, and then you can't work on stalling. So if I have a bad takeoff here, now I have a hard time getting under the ball. I can't get a flip reset. It's difficult. You can go off the other wall in this training pack, but I really think the distance on just the very first shot this is like the perfect setup for you. It doesn't get any better than this. Like I said earlier, the start of your air dribble is the most important. You don't really want to jump off the wall too early. You want to let this ball roll up the wall and then hit it like that. You want it to basically follow this trajectory. Try doing this just a few times and let the ball just float and then stop moving. You want the ball to go up a bit. You don't want it to go too far to the side, and you don't want it to go straight up. Once you feel comfortable with this, you can start jumping off the wall and flying for the ball. If stalling is way too difficult for you, maybe you're new to the game or you're just not that mechanically solid yet, this pack is great for practicing regular air dribbles. When you can even practice double touches, you can practice almost anything you want in this training pack. It's just a very nice off-the-wall setup, but that makes it great for practicing stalls. So once you're comfortable getting the ball in a proper position, I'll show you guys the tendency I had and some tips that I've learned along the way just on my own for practicing stalling. So one of the things I always struggled with was when I first saw people do it, they would roll upside down to get a flip reset on the ball. And then once they had the reset on the ball, like so, then they would go for a stall underneath the ball. And I've always struggled with that. That's been the most difficult thing for me. And like there, I didn't even get a reset. That was always difficult for me. It was either I don't get the reset, like here, I don't think I have it, or I get the reset, but I can only do one stall and it's not even that good, or I completely whiff the ball. So instead, I resorted to jumping off of the ceiling because I could more consistently hit the ball that way. And eventually, I even started 360ing off of the ceiling. Like so. As you can see, I really like doing that. The 360ing, however, isn't just purely for show. It's actually a crutch. I really struggle sometimes with my timing. And the direction I'm spinning off of the ceiling is tied to the direction I would already need to be pressing to get a proper stall. As you can remember, you have to do a perfect left barrel roll. So as I come off the ceiling, I'm already holding left on my stick. As you can see, I'm spinning clockwise. Or sorry, counterclockwise. I think it turns into clockwise because you're upside down on the ceiling. So all I have to do as I'm coming off of the ceiling is jump and my R1 at the same time. That's all I have to do. I have to press air roll right and jump at the same time, which is really easy for me, especially since I practiced it a lot. But this has definitely been the easiest way for me to reliably hit the stall midair without messing it up and still be, touching the ball. Of course, you don't have to go for a stall. You can just practice flip resets. You can get multiple flip resets without even stalling. It's just very difficult. I remember practicing before I even knew how to stall. I'd go for a double reset. I would try to like front flip at the ball or barrel roll at the ball and then land on it and like back flip it or something. But stalling really does make multiple flip resets a lot easier. Of course, you can stall into another stall. You can go for a stall into some kind of like flick right there with the ball. The key, however, for landing the stall, that way you get a flip reset, is to get really close to the ball. You don't want the ball moving too quickly. You just want to get close to the ball and then not mess up the stall. Get really close and then boom. If you're perfectly upside down, you land the stall and you're really close, you might even have a chance at another stall. And there are players out there who can chain these stalls together. As you can see, I got one, and I was able to touch the ball again, but I was a little too far away. if you can get close to the ball and also directly underneath it, and you see I'm a little too far away from the center of the ball. If I can get directly under the ball and then do it, the ball won't just go directly in the net where I can't follow it. It has taken me quite a long time to even be able to just do this. And this is something that maybe isn't the most meta right now. So let me explain my feelings on that. So in Rocket League, stalls are really cool. Stalls look flashy, but are they viable in competitive play? Should you rely on stalls? Is it the first thing you should practice? I think right now, the answer is no. Stalls are not meta, as I would call it. They aren't the end-all, be-all, what everybody should be going for. I think there are better things to practice. As a newer player, you should be focused on your ground game, passing, shooting, and basic aerials. But eventually, I think people will get good enough to consistently hit flip resets and multiple stalls all the time. And that's going to be a really scary time. If a player can hit stalls and multiple flip resets consistently, they will be unstoppable. The question is, can a player become consistent? And I'm probably going to keep practicing and see if I can get consistent at this. I know there's a couple other players who are starting to get consistent at multiple flip resets, and who knows, maybe one day you'll be the flip reset stall king or queen. So I hope this tutorial helped you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in free training.